the lead for the MVP.
No question about it. Look at those numbers. I mean, look at those numbers.
Man.
5 TDs, 378, including the game-winning touchdown in OT.
And look at the numbers on both of those receivers.
Man. We're going wall-to-wall NFL here for the next 27 minutes plus. Bruce Arians, always interesting, especially the last couple weeks at the podium after a game. Let's hear from him now.
I'm not used to losing here. Really proud of our guys. I thought, man, we had some young. At one time, we had 6 rookies out there on defense, and they were fighting their asses off. And this was an NFL game for some of them. They got broken in pretty good. Offensively, I don't think we could have played much better. A couple of third downs maybe, and I thought our kicking game was solid. That field goal before the half, I knew it was going to be huge. In these games up here, they always are. Every point counts. So those 3 points, I thought it was a hell of a drive of 40 seconds to get to field goal range, and I was counting on Matt to make that one. But really proud of our guys.
Coach, Mike Evers chased down the fumble. We're not even having this conversation. How important was that?
Yeah, I think everybody gave some great effort. I thought Devin White's play on Carson was unbelievable. We just don't get that fumble, But that's what these young guys are all about, and each and every guy had a hand in the pile today.
Bruce, you get that touchdown, less than a minute left. Is there any thought to going for 2 on the road? They're trying to win it outright.
No, just because of history here, and we'd held them. Kicker just missed one, and so yeah, it was no, there was no.
Coach, the second touchdown drive, 1st and 10, Winston throws the screen pass into the ground. You go in and eventually score. Is your quarterback showing maturity now?
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, he had 2 or 3 screens today that he handled extremely well. KJ Wright's a tough guy to get a screen pass on. He read them, but Jameis played probably as good as he's played all year.
Coach, how important is it to get the ball at the opening kickoff and go in and score for momentum?
Well, that's the thing. Every time in overtime, you want that ball. And, I've had some doozies with these guys before, and, I thought we had them stopped, and they made a really good third down conversion.
Bruce, this is 2 weeks in a row where you had a lead in the 4th quarter, and the defense just kind of can't close it out. What has to happen for that to change?
It's got to grow up. I mean, we're really young. Over there we had, 3 rookies back in the back end playing, and Devin and Nelson got hurt. So, I mean, just keep growing. But I love the way they competed.
Are there rules when you play a Russell Wilson? And he made some throws today that I don't know if the coverage could have been any better.
That's Russell. I mean, been watching that for a long time. And when Russell gets out of the pocket, that's when he's the most dangerous. We let him up the middle, and that's a no-no.
Overall, the distance.
Arians knows Seattle and Pete from his days in Arizona. Here's Carroll.
It was a challenge throughout the game because we weren't ahead for a long time, to just stay in it, keep banging, and keep believing that we could do things right long enough to win a football game. And that lesson took us all the way to regulation. Great drive to get down there, get the field goal set up and kick it, and we don't make it. And then we got to go flip a coin and do it again. And thanks to Gino winning the toss out there, we had a chance to win the game right there, and an incredibly beautiful job going 10 plays, 75 yards to win the football game. It just feels like we had a chance to win it twice. But so the lessons that come out of this, the value of a game like this is so important. Okay, we know OT. These guys, young guys, know what OT is like. Continuing to believe and continue to hang in there, and talking the talk that's necessary at the time is so important, because we're going to need it again. We're going to need it. It's going to happen again. We're going to be in close games again. But we're getting ready. We're getting ready for those games. And with Russell back there, it don't matter. You got a chance. You got a chance no matter what's going on. He played phenomenal football today. The calls that he had to make, the adjustments that he made, the throws. Just the variety of things that we threw today, that was available to us, and we went after it. It was an array of passes and concepts and principles. It was really exciting to see our guys pull all that together. We ran the football some against the best rushing defense in the NFL. Of course, we had a big run by Chris. That was huge, but Tyler Lockett is ridiculous. He's so good. 13 catches today. And
All right, that's Pete Carroll on his team winning. That is Baker Mayfield right there. Let's hear what he has to say about his team's loss.
I feel like we had a good plan. So did they, but it comes down to just executing.
Can you walk us through the last play?
Just trying to get a, underneath route coming through. Expecting some sort of pressure. They like to blitz when it's a critical down. But just, I think the details of, we have to have the rub route, and partially that's on me. And so we just have to, do our job each play.
It looked like Odell may have possibly been open on the left side on the fourth quarter.
No, it's one thing to be able to take a shot like that on a 4th and 4, but we felt like we had something good drawn up and that we should have executed.
And what did you see, or everything from your perspective on this?
When I looked over, the ball was crossed. I'm sure the TV copy showed how they turned my body a little bit, and I did have, the ball was a little bit closer to, the measurement than I think what it was portrayed. It's a tough one. I told Freddie to challenge it because I was pretty sure that I got it, and he has full trust in me, and I said I got it, but they didn't have enough evidence to overturn it.
Baker, you've always been really good in the red zone. Last year your stats, technically a little long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Oklahoma way that score was that. What's going on? It's like you've been there, you know how to get the ball in the end.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd say teams are playing us a little bit different. We just have to take what's there. I think there's just, execution and taking what's there. They're not going to give us some of the one-on-one shots that, we had last year. It's a different team. Teams are playing us differently. So we just have to be able to execute.
You defined yourself last week to help hold guys more accountable, and I'm sure you're playing more vocal and things and things like that. And it seems like a lot of those things did get cleaned up and they went better. So how disconcerting is it to come in here, clean up some of those things, and then still not be able
Come
to
out with a win. Yeah. No, I think that we addressed our problems of the self-inflicting wounds, stuff to hurt us. I think we were a lot better on penalties, obviously. The pre-snap stuff, guys got lined up and did their job for the most part. Obviously, we'll look at the tape, but that's the frustrating part is, we cleaned our problem up that we said we were going to address and then still didn't come out with a win. But it just goes to show we have to be able to do our job and then make the plays when they're there. It's, the little things that have been getting us beat that, we have to be able to put those behind us. It should be a no-brainer that we don't have any pre-snap penalties and things like that, and so that we can just go out and play and execute.
How do you deal with 2 and 6, especially when there's so many high expectations?
Singular focus on the next week ahead, and look at the film, see exactly what happened. Obviously we know not getting touchdowns in the red zone is the biggest problem, but we'll see exactly why. Address that and singular focus moving forward. Another AFC opponent next week, and a good one at that.
Supposedly, Odell said, and from that report that he said, I can't get the ball for the life of me after the game. Do you feel like you guys need to be getting the ball more to Odell when you see him make catches like those 2 amazing catches that he made?
Yeah, no, I think we made a step in the right direction of, even though teams are going to, bring coverage over the top, still, finding ways to get him the ball. I think obviously, we see what type of game-changing plays that he can make. You have to continue to try and get him the ball, but at the same time, when teams do want to take, numbers, we have to play the numbers game a little bit, and he understands that. He's frustrated because we're losing. We all are, so, we understand that. To take his quote that he said, he always wants to be, the answer and the solution to the problem. And so, I understand that. I wish I could be able to help it out more, and we'll continue to find ways to get him the ball.
With all the expectations and not 2 and 6, obviously, just it's the nature of the beast. Freddie's job security is a topic. What's your level of confidence
It's a topic for you guys. I think within our building, we know exactly what's wrong. We haven't executed. I think, like I said earlier, we had a good plan. We just haven't executed it. So we'll see, how the guys handle it this week. But it's got to be a singular focus. Our preparation the past few games has been unbelievable, and so we need to continue that. And the type of men that we have, I said it weeks ago or whenever it was, months ago, that we're going to stick together. We're going to keep pushing forward. So this is obviously very frustrating, but got to move forward.
There's a statistic that teams starting 2-6 since division realignment in 2002 haven't made the playoff. What's your mindset in terms of being able to realistically get this thing turned around and make that run we want to make?
Stats like that are meant to be broken, and the guys within our building are going to be, highly focused and highly detailed on doing their job. And so, going forward, it's got to be a singular focus, like I keep saying. We don't need to look up till we're at the very end and have no regrets about how we attacked and finished the season.
I know Nick Chubb ran hard and he had some plays.
Mm-hmm.
His overall numbers were great. It seemed like they were doing a lot to take them away.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do? Did that open other things up, or did there other options?
No, yeah, I was pretty shocked when I looked up and saw the amount of rushing yards we had, because I felt like we had more. Nick ran very well. Van ran very hard. The Nick Chubb way that we always see. They did a good job of rolling guys down or keeping safeties low, and they did a good job playing physical up front in critical downs. Other than that, I think we ran the ball well.
Did you feel that early on your throws were a little hard and high? And if so, did you feel like you settled in? Or
they said that our receivers, came back and said they were coming out a little hot, so I toned it down a little bit. But that's just something, and then the plays need to be made. But I understand that from them.
Knowing how hard it is for a first-time starting quarterback to go into a game and be successful, what can you say about what Brandon Allen was able to do tonight?
He played well. He managed the game very well, made the throws. I think, the touch on some of his passes was great. I think he saw the field well. At times, he delivered the critical passes that they needed, and they ran the ball well with Philip Lindsay. And obviously, Cortland Sutton played well on the outside. He did a great job, so I commend them for that.
So Baker Mayfield looking frustrated, almost sounding perplexed at times, too, using the word execution over and over again, and they clearly are not executing right now. The Browns losing one to the Broncos. Ryan, final thoughts.
My final thought is about the Cleveland Browns. Listen, just because your schedule seemingly gets easier, it doesn't mean that you're going to fix all of your woes and all of your problems. You heard him say execute. They need to execute better. They need to be better prepared. And that's on head coach Freddie Kitchens, but also these players. When you go out and assemble all of these guys, all of this talent, they had to actually get on the field in between the lines and do what they've been coached to do. And this team just isn't. And so whether you have Odell Beckham Jr. and Baker Mayfield and Jarvis Landry, it doesn't matter if they don't go out there and play well. And I know we were thinking to ourselves, they got the 49ers, they have the Seahawks, they have the Patriots, the Ravens. After that, it's smooth sailing. This is about the Cleveland Browns and not their schedule. If they don't begin to play better, they don't win. And soon they will be out of playoff contention. And what will that locker room look like then?
How about your final thought?
I think my final thought would be looking at the Philadelphia Eagles. I think there are probably plenty of people that wrote off the Philadelphia Eagles earlier in the year with some of their struggles. I think it would have been too early to do that. You think about the Cowboys have a big one on Monday night, in a division game. But Philadelphia is running the football. They have a quarterback that when he is playing well, can play as well as anybody in the league. And so I think there's a plan. I think Doug Peterson's a really good coach. I think he's been steady. And, they maybe were fortunate to face the struggling Bears offense this weekend. But they have committed to running the football. And I think it's just going to pay big dividends for them offensively and how people feel like they have to defend them. I think they're gaining some confidence as that happens. So when I look at Philadelphia, I think they're a team that could easily win their division and be in a situation to be a very dangerous team Seems like that's the operative word right now coming off of Baker, but being a dangerous team, heading into the postseason because they have so many players that have kind of been a part of that.
One thing we should mention, to his Eagles point, they have the bye. They have an opportunity to get rested. His point was about the Browns. They got the Bills coming to town Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, with Buffalo off to its best 8-game start since they lost that 4th consecutive Super Bowl in the early 90s. The tests will come. That's next week. Test came today for Aaron Rodgers in a way not a lot of people maybe expected.